We're just getting underway in the qualifying laps, and announcing today is going to be me, Aiden Potty, as always, alongside Kai, or Wild Die 9 as you may know him, retired racer in this league. So we're going to be manning the booth today for you guys, and this should be a good one. We got 8 drivers, at least to start it off, mind you, if anybody crashes. Well, it'll be interesting for you guys, but it'll be one less driver, but we're starting at 8, and hopefully we can maintain that through the race. So Kai, what do you think about this one? What do you, you might know, you probably know more about the track than I do, and just talk us through it.
So, like, what do you want me to say about it, I guess?
Just, what is it like to race, if you've driven on it, what's it like to drive on? How are the turns? How are the, are there many places for speed? Is there DRS, like any spots for DRS, that type of thing? Just,
so
how
I believe
difficult
there
is it?
are 2 or 3 DRS, I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's 3 DRS zones on the straight after turn number, I think, 3. There is another one, or no, after like turn 4 on another straight, and then near the end of the track there's also another DRS zone. So yeah, there are 3, and so yeah, it's not too tough a track to race on. I believe it is, in real life it's an F1 testing track, this one in Spain, both of them are. We already raced to Spain. I was in that race, that's actually not too bad. But so yeah, it's not too tough a track to race on. Lots of pretty, like medium speed corners, especially through Maggots and Beckets, which are the 3 consecutive turns right before the final DRS zone, and those are probably the harder turns on the track. They're quite tough to go through, especially if you're behind another car and they're dirty air. You will definitely lose quite a bit of traction. So yeah, you just gotta be aware of that. Yeah, I would say that is mostly it for like just a little track recap on Britain. I don't know how many corners there are, so can't really say that unless I really tried to count them, but yeah, so that's it.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go through the standings. However, they're not updated up to last race, which was round 11 in Austria. That isn't put into the website yet, but everything else is up to round 10 in France. So I'm gonna run through it. Things might be a little bit different, but they're probably relatively the same. And of course, I'm finding these standings over on SheeshRacingLeague.com, where you can find out everything you need to know about the Sheesh Racing League, including standings, both driver and constructor standings. I'm going to go through both, driver first and constructor. You can also find past race results. Austria isn't in there yet, again, but that will be updated soon. You can find the league rulebook and even a place to contact the league owners if need be. So first, going through the driver standings, we have in first place Seaburton 91, 148 points. Not too far behind him is Cameron with 129 points. Then it's Cam M15 with 100 points. In fourth is Gunslinger with 85 points. Close behind him in fifth is Lutzi with 80 points. Very close behind him in sixth is the Kid Zico with 79 points. And then there's a bit of a gap here. In 7th is Maddie with 51 points. Then in 8th is BFG with 40. 9th is OJD with 37. 10th is Smith with 34. And then 11th is Stigmatic Drip with 24. 12th is Slim Omnivore with 19. 13th is Mad Max with 16. 14th is GDB with 10. And then tied for 15th is Nick Dini, Gerbs, and T-Rex, who all have 4 points. So jumping down to the constructor standings, in first place is BWT Racing Point, consisting of the 2 leaders, Seaburton and Cameron, with a total of 277 points. Then in second is Red Bull Racing with Cam M15 and Maddie, 151 points. In third is the Mercedes team with Lutzi and BFG, 120 points. In fourth is AlphaTauri with Gunslinger and Stigmatic Drip, 109 points. In fifth is the Haas F1 team with the Kids Zico and Gerbs, 83 points. And 6th is Williams with Mad Max, 66 points, but that isn't accurate. I don't believe it's been updated since Wild Die 9 left, who had a lot of those points. So it's actually at 16 for them. So they are all the way in 8th place. So 6th place would actually belong to McLaren, Slim Omnivore and Smith, 53. 7th place would belong to Alfa Romeo with OJD and GDB with 35. And then 8th place would belong to the Ferrari team, consisting of Nick Dini and T-Rex. So those are your standings over on SheeshRacingLeague.com. And you can also find us over on Instagram at the Sheesh Racing League, or to be more specific, at Sheesh_F1_Racing League, in case you can't find us by searching our name. Of course, we are right here on YouTube, and as well, we are over on Twitch. We are not live right now. We only stream on YouTube, or primarily stream on YouTube, but we do use Twitch as a backup. And my first stream announcing for everybody actually had to be on Twitch, just due to some difficulties with YouTube, and that's what the Twitch channel is there for. There's a backup, so it's always a good idea to just follow that in case it's ever a Saturday and you don't see us live. Chances are that could be why.
Alright, and while you were going over the standings, Racing Point Cameron has the fastest lap by almost over 2 seconds with a 1:24.982, and he is currently in the pits. And behind him is BFG, behind him is Gunslinger, then it is Stigmatic Drip, Cam M15, Gerbs, and OJD and Seaburton are at the moment on their laps, but they have not set one yet. And I believe Gerbs, when he set one, he spun out because a 2:05 is definitely not normal at this track. So, yeah.
Well, seeing that he's on his out lap, I'm assuming that maybe he had some damage happen on that lap, and then he had to go back to the pits. That'd be my best guess.
He keeps going into the pits every time. Don't know why.
Must be having some car troubles of some sort. That would be the only explanation. Right now, OJD's lap is invalidated, so I'm gonna switch down to Seaburton and see what time he sets. So Cole sets a 127.1 and he puts himself all the way up into 3rd. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, that's pretty good from Mr. Cole. And OJD will set a fastest sector 2. So it appears like this could be a great lap for him. And hopefully he can contest with Cameron for the lead. For pole position. Nope, well that was actually pretty close, only about 5/10 off. OGD with a 125.471. And so that will put him into 2nd position behind Cameron and move everyone else down 1 position.
Sorry for the silence here. I'll be back with you guys in a moment. I'm just trying to figure some things out on my end here.
My goodness, Gerbs is lagging so bad. Alright, let's see it, Gerbs. Give us a lap here. Don't go in the pits. Good. I'm really uncertain if he's on controller or wheel. It appears by the way his wheel is moving, it appears that he would be on controller, unless his hands are just very twitchy. And it seems like he's racing with traction control off, which is normally not recommended for controller unless you are a pro with it. And now he's going to let Cameron go, who will still get a purple first sector, even though he almost ran into Gerbs.
Well, as I'm sure you all know, this is a Sheesh Racing League, so every driver is a pro, of course.
Oh, yeah. So that's why Gerbs is on controller with no traction control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is weird to be on controller for this game, though. That's not something you see very often, especially not in a league race.
No.
But I mean, I guess that's what he's going with, and it's not really serving him well right now. He's way down there in the bottom with a 205, 205.5, and
as long as he doesn't spin out, he could get, well, he'll still be in last with this lap, but he could get close.
And then Cameron just outdoes himself there and sets an even faster time, 124.8.
Yeah, the incident with Gerbs did not hinder Cameron's lap whatsoever.
Well, speaking of Gerbs, he just set a new time, 130.7, so he's still in 8th, but that's a lot better than what he had before.
Yeah, he must have spun out before. On the last lap he did or something. He's going for another one too, because now it appears he's going in the pits. Unlike Cameron, who's taking it easy, yeah, he's definitely not actually going there. You know, he wants to save his tires, I think.
We get 2.5 minutes left in the qualifying laps, and everybody's set a time so far. And right now, unless anything drastic happens, it'll be around the same as far as who's where. And once the race starts during the formation lap, I'll run you through the grid to save you the time of hearing it now in case anything changes. And there goes Cameron off the track, running into a sign. I don't know if that was intentional. Knowing him, it very well could have been.
And then
he spins out. And the thing is, with this guy, it's very possible that that's on purpose. I honestly, you never know. You never know then.
He has to start on those tires, so I don't know what he's doing, but... And he's not hitting? Okay.
Who knows? It's Cameron.
Yep.
That's the thing with this league. He's just one of many characters we have around here. I've talked about a few of them before.
Maybe he's gonna crash out so we get some new tires or something. And already invalidated his next lap.
Well, we're gonna see. Let's see what OJD does here, because he just finishes out lap. So this lap here will actually count toward his time if he can do better than a 125.4, which is what he's sitting at the moment. He's only got 1 more minute to do so, mind you. The game will let him just continue on the track, even once that time runs out.
Yeah, if you started a lap before the time runs out, then you could finish it.
I don't think, he will not have time to do a second one. But he will be able to finish this one, and that goes for everybody else behind him as well. But I think there's somebody way ahead of the pack there. I don't know who that is. It might be one of the 2 AlphaTauri boys, and it is. It's Stigmatic. But he's going in the pits anyway, so. doesn't make a difference for him.
It seems as though OJD is very good at Sector 2, as I'm pretty sure every single lap he has gotten a purple sector for Sector 2.
Well, Sector 2 is probably one of the better sectors. The turn doesn't seem too sharp there, and then you kind of go into a bit of a straight. So I guess it's not too bad. OJD is... Oh, he's already... So he is into a new lap here. And he did set a better time. He was at a 125.471. Now it's a 125.220, but that's
yeah, Aiden, if you want, you can move down to
difference.
C. Burton, who is doing donuts currently.
Of course he is.
The track. Yeah. I hope that he doesn't. Oh,
Well,
and there he. Oh my goodness. Okay. I believe he just wanted a new set of tires. That's
most likely.
Because then they will have absolutely no wear on them, so it's not necessarily a bad idea. In real life, you definitely should not do that right before the day or two before the race. But, yeah.
Well, here we go. We have BWT Racing Point in full formation, Cameron and Cole. We have OJD representing Alfa Romeo. We have BFG representing Mercedes. We have Cam representing Red Bull, Gerbs representing Haas, and also for AlphaTauri we have the complete team of Gunslinger and Stigmatic. So those are the teams being represented on the track today here in Britain, round 12 of the Sheesh Racing League, and we are just about to get underway into the actual race. Everybody's just going to get loaded in, and then there will be a formation lap in which I will run through the grid with all of you. So you know who's where, and or at least who's starting where, and then we can see where they end up by the end of it, and see how much changes. And it's gonna start off in the rain, so these guys are gonna have to either have their wet or their intermediate tires. And I'm thinking
like
wet.
It looks pretty soaked.
Yeah, so I believe it would be wet, full wet tires, which are the blue.
Mm-hmm.
For any of you that like to look at the colors or just distinguish it by that, they're the blue. Because I know that's what I do a lot of the time. If I'm not sure what a driver has on their car, I'll look at the color and I know what corresponds to what.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a way of me doing things. So yeah, for 13 seconds away, and not even quite. I don't think. I think everybody's going to be loaded in a little bit before that. Mm-hmm. And while we wait, and here we go. So formation lap's going to get started. And there we go. So I'll run you through the grid now. So starting in P1 is BWT Racing Point driver RP Cameron. Behind him in second is OJD. In third is BFG. In fourth is Cameron's teammate, Seaburton91. In fifth is Gunslinger. Behind him is his teammate. In sixth, Stigmatic Drip. Then in seventh is Cam, and in eighth is Gerbs. So that is how today's race will be starting here in round 12 of the Sheesh Racing League. And it appears that, yeah, everybody does have their full wets on. And yeah, the track is pretty soaked, and the rain's still coming down. So hopefully it'll clear up before that lap 26, and these guys can get some of their other tires on, some of their softs or mediums, and catch some real speed. But for now, they have to deal with the wet conditions, which aren't optimal for traction. And they're also not optimal for this right here. You see them going back and forth trying to warm up their tires, and if I'm not mistaken, it's harder to keep your tires warm on a wet track, or get them warm on a wet track. But I could be wrong on that. Kyle, you might know that more than I do. Is it harder to get or keep your tires warm on a wet track? Appears Kai is not with us at the moment. So actually, I'm just going to search that up. So actually it's the opposite. Apparently wet tires warm up faster. And I'm not really sure how that works, but there you go. So I was actually wrong. It's the other way around. Well, there you go. So they'll actually be starting out with very warm tires in this one.
Just in time.
Yeah, I just searched up. I figured that, like, I was kind of thinking that wet tires, or not wet tires per se, but it'd be harder to get your tires wet or warm, sorry, in the rain when the track's wet, but apparently it's the opposite.
Yeah, they don't have to be as warm though, and they get very overheated when the track is dry. Remember, 5 red lights, and drive-through penalty for Gerbs. That's not going to help him as he's already in dead last, and we're off. A good start for Cole Burton on the left, or I guess the right of the track. Cameron goes off the track. he's going to cut the track quite a bit there. He did not want to go back on the grass. And, so yeah, Cole Burton is your leader of
Somebody's off the
race.
track. I think that's Gerbs. Yeah, he went off the track a little bit into the grass there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Wet track. Not good for, and somebody else just went out. That was an AlphaTauri car. And it was Stigmatic. You saw him go off in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, it doesn't appear. It doesn't appear to be any damage on our end, but that might not look the same on his end, I don't know. But anyway, he went off the track
go
there.
to the inside of Cameron, at least for the next corner, and Cameron will turn on the overtake, and he'll brake much later, and keep second place.
And wow, TV pod view really is not showing much with all this rain, so I'm just gonna go, I'll stay in broadcast for now, even for the battles, because that's not a whole lot of vision there. Gunslinger's trying to get past BFG. And yeah, but I mean, I'm going to switch back to this TV pod for a second here while he tries to pass BFG, and I thought he was going to get done.
Oh, and there's a spin.
He gets bumped.
Almost running into him was M15, but a great job to not hit into him. There's Gerbs, and he'll hit him into the wall.
Gerbs hit him into the wall.
Off his wing.
Right at the pit lane, and Gerbs, another
Gerbs
penalty, 5 seconds.
A time penalty for that, and Gunslinger almost runs into Stigmatic, so Gerbs may be getting potentially kicked from the league after this race, as he is very behind the pace that everyone else is at. And even though he is a pro, obviously, but yeah, he's been quite reckless so far.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't look. I don't know how you do that on accident, to be honest. But
it was a straight, so I don't know.
I know the one with BFG definitely looked accidental, or else he was trying to overtake on the inside. BFG kind of cut down on him, but I feel like it was more on BFG. Maybe he was trying to get back to that racing line, but it was more of an it was incidental. But I'm not really sure with that one with Gerbs. Oh, and then Cameron just went sliding off the track. Anyway, C. Burton has set the fastest time there, 148.3, I believe it was, during all that drama.
And we're back to green.
But yeah, Gerbs and BFG both with a penalty. I didn't catch what BFG's was, I don't think. I don't know if you did or not.
BFG got a drive-through penalty, and Gerbs, I believe, has 15 seconds in time penalties already.
Well, yeah, he's got a few. He had he jumped the start, and then he had that severe collision with Gunslinger, and now Gunslinger's way behind the pack. He
got a penalty for speeding under VC virtual safety car, so it's not looking good for Gerbs so far. He has moved up one position though, I will say that.
Well, cleanly I would argue.
Not cleanly, but he did.
Not sure how much he deserves that spot. I'm gonna go down to Cameron very quickly. We're working on Cameron 15.
Spinning again is Gerbs. Just exiting sector 2. I'm trying to chase him down as Gunslinger. He is quite a ways behind him though.
Yeah, I'll try to keep you guys in TV pod view, and that's actually a really good way for you guys to see how hard this rain's coming down. And there he goes past Cam on the inside of him. Not right turn, but yeah, you can really see how hard the rain's coming down in that TV pod view. Give you a good idea. Give you a good idea of what these guys are seeing through those visors.
Yeah, they see the same thing as we do, pretty much. So, yeah. not easy to race like that.
So now Gerb's in the pit, so Gunslinger will get his 7th place back, and he started up in, I think, 5th. Both of these AlphaTauri guys, though, have had it rough. Stigmatic slid off under his own will towards the beginning. And Cameron went off the track a few times, and it's just, it's wet. You can tell. So like I said, traction is not on you guys' side today. At least not for now. So I'm going to go down to the TV pot of OJD, who's working on our leader, her current leader, C. Burton, and let's see how long that can stick. C. Burton takes that turn really wide and gets a 3-second time penalty for it. Multiple warnings. OJD wanted to pass on the outside, and C. Burton just held his line, wasn't letting that happen.
A very defensive move by C. Burton there. He gave him just enough space on the inside there. And we have a safety car. Let's scroll through what happened.
OJD just set the fastest lap with a 1:4.27, so you can tell that he's speeding up, and then now you can see the safety car ahead of him. Oh, be careful there, Cole. Safety car wasn't too keen on coming out of the pits, and Cole almost passed it.
Yeah.
So there is a safety car out. You're looking through the reports right now. I'm not really sure what happened. There's no drivers out of the race. Maybe it was BFG. He just went into the pits, or he just came out. I'm not really sure. I'm not get a good idea.
Yeah, I can. It looks like
is way behind the pack, and then Gerb's way behind.
Going pretty slow. I don't. Does he has a win? Yeah. Good Gunslinger, yep.
Maybe Gerb's?
He has his wing. It appears that everyone still looks fine. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
And yeah, Gerb's doesn't hit the pits, so don't know. But there's a safety car, and usually when there's a safety car, like a full-on safety car, there's a wreck somewhere, and somebody just races over, but everyone seems to still be going without much of an issue, it seems. But anyway, I'm sure Gunslinger and Gerbs aren't complaining about the safety car, as Cole almost loses it there. But I'm sure Gunslinger and Gerbs aren't really complaining about the safety car. It'll give them a little bit of a chance to catch up. But
and once everyone catches up, then
they're pretty far back.
So yeah, I think it does allow everyone to catch up. That's good.
Well, they got a lot of catching up to do. They're Gunslinger's 27 seconds behind the pack, and then Gerbs is 25 more seconds behind him.
Yeah. Almost a full lap.
We'll see when the safety car decides to head off and lets the guys go back to normal. I don't think he's gonna do it here. So it'll be at least one more time around the track with the safety car, which will just help Gunslinger and Gerbs further. And Gunslinger's really catching up. Only 15 seconds back now, and he's turning on the jets to catch back up to the pack, and this extra lap with the safety car will help that big time. But Gerbs is still lagging way behind. Well, lap 5 of 26, and it's been pretty dramatic.
Cole Cole is in the gravel. I don't know what happened to him. He spun it there, so I don't know if it will allow him to catch up or not, or if that's just a mistake and you gotta deal with it. Let's see, that puts him all the way in second last from first. That is very unfortunate for Cole.
And yeah, I'm not really sure how that works with safety cars. I'm assuming it was a personal mistake. He's just gonna be, I don't know.
I think he is allowed to catch up.
It's allowed him to go back to where he was. I mean, that makes sense, but at the same time, that's hard on the other drivers that need to try to find room to let him go through without causing any issues to him or themselves. And there, OJD's gonna let him pass, I think. Or he tries to, but yeah, there we go. He tried to there. Cole didn't really want to take it. Well, didn't think was a safe enough spot, I guess.
Hmm.
And so yeah, now Gunslinger's caught up, and now Gerbs is the only one lagging behind. He's caught up a bit from where he was, but he's still 15 seconds back.
And he's just entering Maggots and Beckett's now. And he's almost going to spin out. Safety car's in this lap, and... Oh, okay, Gerbs just went off the track, but now he's miraculously back on it. He does not have very good internet connection, it appears.
And he doesn't have a good record either there. That's another penalty for him. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So if he goes to the pit lane, he'll be allowed to serve his collision and his jump, like his penalties. I think it'll allow him to serve his penalties for everything but the time penalties. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it works. I'm gonna get down to Gunslinger.
Actually, I'm pretty sure as long as you go, you can only serve one at a time, but you can serve, I'm pretty sure, you can serve for all of them, but I'm not really sure how that works either.
I'm gonna be flipping back and forth here because everybody's back in a pack. Cameron 15, 3 seconds for multiple warnings. I'm gonna go down to Cameron 15, who's gaining on Stigmatic. So there's going to be a few battles going on here now with everybody close together. And as I say that, Cameron's working very closely on OJD and almost gets past him on the outside. Can't quite get it done. And OJD isn't that far behind Cole either. And another safety car.
Yep.
I have no idea what's going on. It's got to be something with Gerbs. He's way behind. He's kind of lagging all over the place. So maybe there's stuff happening on his screen that isn't happening for us, and that's what's causing the safety car. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, the actual safety car is out. You can see on the large map in, looks like, turns 4 or 5. I'm not sure what it's called, because there's
just in that straight in sector 1 there. Well, it's kind of 2, but the first one that's in sector 1. And what's happening up here? Something with Cameron going on, and Stigmatic hit him in the Stigmatic hit the back end of Cameron and damaged his front wing. He doesn't appear to be going to the pits for it, which is odd.
Cole went to the pits though for something. To switch to
Gunslinger as well.
intermediates. Okay, maybe the rain is letting up for them. And Cole has decided to go on the intermediates. If there's a time to do it, it's definitely now.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure about that decision. It's still, the track hasn't dried up any, and then the rain's still coming down. The rain, no, I don't really think. I was going to say it seems to lighten up a bit, but looking at the TV pod of Stigmatic, considering they're not going all that fast, or they're under the safety car, I don't really see the reasoning for putting intermediates on, unless that's all he has, other than the wets he started with.
There is a pretty decent dry line the drivers have made so far, so maybe...
Yeah, but if you miss that, if you hit the wet part of the track, it's could be bad news for you. Mind you, intermediates are made for the wet too, but it's just not, they're not made...
They don't have as much grip.
They don't have as much grip, no, they're not made for the same amount of rain that the wets are, and like you said, they have that dry line, but the rest of the track is still just as wet as it was before, really. And we're still under safety car here. So C. Burton and Gunslinger are both gonna have plenty of time. Yeah, no, they'll have plenty of time to catch up there, regardless of whether the safety car goes off now or not. Because Cole Burton, C. Burton's back there, very, very close, and Gunslinger isn't that far behind either.
Yeah.
And yeah, the both of them are caught up now. And now everybody's gonna be bunched together, and the safety car is still not getting off. So it's been 2 laps and 2 safety cars, lap 5 and lap 7.
So Stigmatic is going into the pits. It shows he's in first at the moment, but that's because the pit lane is cutting first corner. But there he goes, into last place. So I believe he is pitting for intermediate, and he is stalled in his pit. Oh, they're changing his wing. Never mind. There he goes. I guess I can put up the detail, the tires, and yep. Him, Gunslinger, and Seaburton are all on intermediate, so maybe Jeff has told them to put them on. Yeah, it looks like the rain might be calming down a bit, but I'm not really sure. If it is, not much.
Well, the thing is, the rain can let up all at once, but the track's still gonna stay wet for a while.
For a few laps, and then
as long as the rain's coming down at all, the track's not gonna dry up a whole lot, other than the dry spots that they've already created. The question has to be asked: where does all that water go? And a lot of it's on their tires. Those tires are made for the wet, but they are very wet. And mind you, the speed that they go at, probably not a whole lot stays on there.
No. Yeah, it pretty much just flings it out to the side.
Speaking of that, that's actually how you see a lot of collisions, wrecks, safety cars, is people hit the edge of the track, even on dry tracks, and that's because that's where all the debris goes, any pieces of rubber off the tires, even if anybody goes off into the grass, into the gravel, depending on how close it is to the track, some of it will be kicked off towards the edge. So that's why the racing line is important to know, important to follow. Because you can go, if you go to the path less traveled in F1, it's not a good idea to do. In racing in general, it's not a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's certain spots on the track that are all dried up right now, and those are the prime spots to keep your car in. And the safety car has been lifted, so back to racing we go. Lap 9 of 26, we still got plenty of time to go here, and if these safety cars keep happening, it'll just be that much longer. But Mr. Gerbs there, who may or may not be the culprit, and has put himself up into 5th place with all these safety cars.
Oh yeah, from...
Speaking of Gerbs, Seaburton is working closely on him, and Gunslinger is working closely on Seaburton. And he's going for the pass now. He's going to have to pass him on the inside. Brakes just a bit too early. And
Gerbs is not leaving Cole any room.
Well, past Cole goes Gunslinger, and past Gerbs goes Gunslinger. Well, maybe. They're kind of side by side. And a bump from Gerbs. And that's not the first time he's done it. And that ends Gunslinger's race, and it ends Gerbs' race too. And that's just... You don't like to see that. You don't like to see that. Why are you going to race if your whole intention is to ruin somebody else's race? And that's intentional. The one before, maybe there's past history with these two, because there's a Gunslinger that he bumped on intentionally before. But regardless, settle that elsewhere, not on the track. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. You should be ashamed of yourself, Gerbs. That's unacceptable.
Ruining someone's race for...
And for the 3rd time in about 4 or 5 laps, we have another safety car. And now 2 drivers out of the race. One who deserves to be out of the race, and one who got caught in the crossfire of somebody who just doesn't respect racing etiquette. Now BFG got a 5-second penalty for colliding with Cam.
Oh yeah, Cam went off the track. He lost most of his wing there.
And that's not the first time BFG's done that either, but I didn't see that one. And I think
he was actually very lucky that he didn't retire.
VFG just might be having some trouble here, because he bumped somebody before that was, you could tell it was accidental. I didn't see that one there, but I feel like VFG might just be having a hard time with this track. But that was Gerbs. That was just another story. That's like I said, I said, I don't. There's no other way to say it. It's unacceptable. That's not how you race. And like I said, if there is past history, the track isn't the spot to solve it. Figure yourself out, Gerbs.
If he wasn't going to be kicked before, he definitely will be now.
Well, he definitely deserves to be, and I'm sure that'll be sorted out. I know Gunslinger won't be happy, and
Potentially,
Gunslinger's a veteran racer in this league, and that's so. Gerbs
yeah,
really isn't
lots of,
helping us out there. Gunslinger's earned his stripes, and Gerbs hasn't been here in how many races? Too many to count. And then he comes back and does that. That's and now he has been lagging. He has been lagging, but I don't
but
know.
that's
That's just
not. That's for other people. Like
for
for
it to be
him,
the second time.
he's fine.
For it to be the second time, that's yeah. Like you, I don't think that's. I don't really think there's any way to justify that. There's no way. If that's unintentional, retire from racing. It's not your cup of tea, Gerbs.
No.
And if it is intentional, definitely retire, because it's definitely not your cup of tea. Yeah. Yeah, that's maddening. That's infuriating. And that's just for me up here watching everything happen. I can't imagine how Gunslinger's feeling right now. That's just...
Yeah. Yeah, I would
And I mean,
be...
even Stigmatic won't be happy about that. I mean, that's his teammate. Gunslinger's his teammate, and that's just hurting their constructor points.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, we've seen some wrecks and we've seen some accidents, and there's been a few things that have been controversial, but that's a whole other level.
There haven't been many like that.
No, that's another level. We've seen people take themselves out. You know that all too well, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. That rubs me the wrong way. Regardless, we're lap 11 to 26, and now hopefully we can have a smooth race.
Yeah, this has been a long race.
Yeah. Well, like I said, three safety cars in like 6 laps, and starting to believe that Gerbs was the culprit for those safety cars.
Yeah, it's been 45.
I guess we'll find out, because once this one's lifted, if we don't get any more through the race, we know who it was.
It's already been 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a long one. And like I said, the more this happens, if it's gonna happen anymore, which I can't see it happening anymore after this, or at least if it does, it'll be just unintentional wrecks or racing incidents. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't. And hopefully we never see anything like that again in this league. In any league for that matter. But this is the league that we have control over, and
Also,
we'll see.
big shout out to our... Sorry for cutting you off, Hayden.
No worries.
Big shout out to our #1 fan, Andrea Zavato, #1 fan of the Sheesh Racing League. He is currently watching the race on my YouTube channel, Millen Bros. So if you want, you can go check it out there, but I would recommend going to Sheesh Racing League YouTube channel, because that is the more professional side of it.
Well, hey, #1 fan, but at the same time, we have some people in here viewing, and they're not overly talkative. So if you wanna just say hi, or if you have any questions about the league, about the race, we'll be sure to answer them. Depending on what's going on the track, if there's not a whole lot for us to report on, and we have time to take a look and have a chat with you about something, we will do that. And in times like these, we would be willing to do that. And now, safety carrier is finally off the track. Hasn't been lifted. The yellow flag hasn't been lifted, but the safety carrier is physically off the track. And there we go. Now we're back to racing. And hopefully it's a little bit cleaner from here on out. Alrighty, so everybody is close in proximity again, and right now the closest one is Cameron. He is right behind OJD, so I'm gonna hop on onto him, and you can see the rain's still coming down. And now, let's see, I'm gonna scroll through right quick. So Cameron's got his intermediates, Cam, BFG, and just going through. Yeah, everybody has their intermediates on, so it must be letting up a bit. Or like you said, it could just be that there's that dry lane that they've created. As you see, there's a little bit of bumping between Cameron and OJD. They're kind of side by side there in a turn, and that's kind of bound to happen. Down to BFG, I'm going to go because he's getting close to Cam. And I know everybody's close to each other. I'm just looking at that gap time, the interval time, and I'm seeing just whoever is closest to passing somebody to getting an overtake, I'm going to switch to them. And right now it's Cameron, who again is right on Stigmatic Drift's tail.
And he was thinking about going to the inside, but he thought better of it, especially because it's in the rain, and he does not want to take himself out.
And he's going into a turn, trying to pass Stigmatic on the inside, and kind of cuts him off there. Doesn't give him a whole lot of room to do much. And as a result, he gets the overtake. And
he's side by side with OJD, who will pass him and will definitely get the better run into this corner, and spinning himself out is Stigmatic.
He saves it, though.
Save it. Great Tokyo Drift there.
The BFG went off the track and ran into a few signs.
Oh, yeah.
And he came to set the fastest time. I think it was a 140.7 if I recall correctly. I can't be 100% sure on that. And anyway, up to Stigmatic, who is, after that nice saved himself, is working on Cam. Only 0.7 behind him. We're in lap 13 of 26, so officially halfway through here in round 12, Sheesh Racing League in Britain. And that'll kind of explain why the rain's coming down.
Yeah.
Britain is a track that's, it's usually, the weather usually isn't the most pristine for racing in. But regardless, the guys will make do with what they have. Right now we have BWT Racing Points sitting on the top, 1 and 2. Cole Burton and Cameron. And then OJD falls in behind them to sitting himself in third for now. Fourth is Cam, fifth is Stigmatic, who we're on board with at the moment, and sixth is BFG. See Burton fastest time there, and on his own, OJD takes it right back, 139.4. I didn't even get a chance to read Cole's before OJD set one, and then now Cameron set a 3-second time penalty for himself with multiple warnings. So now Cole and Cameron both have penalties, so if OJD stays within 3 seconds of Cameron, he's going to at least be in second. I'm not sure what Cole's penalty is. I think it's the same thing though, 3-second time penalty.
Now pitting for the medium tires is BFG. You still see the rain there, Aiden, right?
Yeah, I do. It's definitely let up from what it started at, but it's still coming down. And the track's still wet, other than that lane that they've made for themselves.
I'm just gonna go on board with BFG, who just went on to medium tires. Let's see how he's gonna do on these. And he has already spun out and is into the wall.
His entire front wing is off. I just switched to him, and yet his entire front wing is completely ripped off that car, and he is done.
Retired.
That's the end of his session. So we're down to 5.
I don't know what he was thinking going on mediums. Maybe he didn't have any intermediate tires left, but...
Yeah, I don't know. This really wasn't BFG's race from the beginning right to there. He was just having some issues.
I saw that coming, and that's why I watched him, so I got a pretty good view of that.
Yeah, I switched back to him just as he was kind of spinning in the track, just to see his front wing in the air, and then all of a sudden, DNF. So he must have had some damage other than that, I guess, that we just couldn't see.
Hitting it Stigmatic, almost hits into the wall, hits a sign.
And safety car is back out after that Stigmatic wreck. Or sorry, not Stigmatic, that BFG wreck.
Yeah.
So another safety car, 4th one of the race. Cam just picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So OJD and Stigmatic are the only two surviving drivers without a penalty to their name, I believe. I don't think Stigmatic has one. I can't see if he does right now. He's in the pits.
No, I don't think he does. Even if he did, he would have taken it off through that pit stop, and he stayed on intermediates, just put on fresh ones, because, you know, why not? You're in last place already, might as well.
Well, you see what happens if you try to go to regular tires.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Yeah, the rain is still coming down quite heavily. It's in between probably light rain and heavy rain, closer to light rain, which is why they're on intermediates, because the line would not get as wet as fast.
So after that pit, Stigmatic way behind, but with the safety car still out, he should be able to catch up. I believe the safety car will probably go around for another lap here. So Stigmatic will be able to get back up with the pack again and fight for position with everybody else.
Yeah, on fresh tires, so hopefully he'll be able to make his way up the grid. Yeah, we're only left with 5 people, and from what we've seen, all 5 people have done well in today's race. For staying in, there's been a few penalties, but everyone that's left has done quite well.
I would agree with that.
Stigmatic Drift gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
So now there's one, OJD.
Yep.
The youngest driver in the league. But also one of the more skilled ones, actually. He's made a name for himself since he's joined. I believe his first race was Monaco, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he won.
And that's a rough track. And yeah, he did. He won that race, and that's not an easy track either. And that one actually started out in the rain as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the first race, or I commentated by myself for that one after I retired on like lap 2, since I didn't have a proper setup on, and it was Monaco in the rain, the hardest track in wet conditions. It just was not a good day.
Well, I don't think it's ever a good day when you wreck.
Nope. Well, I didn't even wreck, I just pit and retired.
Oh, there you go. You didn't even didn't give yourself the chance to wreck. You could see it coming, and you said, "Not gonna let it happen."
Yeah, I basically couldn't turn. Like I could turn the wheel complete 180, and even while going maybe like, I don't know, like 60 miles an hour, and basically not turn. So I just couldn't do anything.
So the safety car will be, or should be, getting off for lap 17, and the drivers will be back to regular racing, and they'll be able to fight for position again. Right now, OJD's got the best chance of winning with all the time penalties everybody has, because all he has to do is stay within 3 seconds of either Cameron or C. Burton to beat them. If he's within 3 seconds of Cameron, he makes himself, or he gets himself second place. If he's within 3 seconds of Cole, even in third. If he's still within 3 seconds of Cole, if they're that close, he gets first place. So if he can keep penalties away from himself, and if he can keep himself close to the 2 BWT Racing Point drivers, he can catch a win for free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over to Stigmatic, who is close on OJD. Cameron's close on Cole, but they're teammates, and they have good communication. So anything going on there will be communicated, and it won't be an actual battle with them. So yeah, Stigmatic is close to OJD. Cameron's close to Stigmatic. OJD isn't too far behind Cameron either. Stigmatic's making a push here on OJD. Not enough space to try for the inside overtake. Goes off the track and seemed like he got a little bit loose there. But I'm not quite sure he was okay. Stigmatic's been loose a few times in this race, so that was most likely the case, but wasn't too bad there for himself. Just went off the track and hit the, don't know what the actual name for it is, but you see those red and white things, those red and white strips up in the edges of the track on the turns. And that's what he hit. He hit that. Lost a little bit of traction. No harm, no foul, though. He's still right in there with everybody else. He's fallen a little bit behind OJD, but nothing major, only a second. 1.3. So not terrible, but I'm going to go up to OJD now, because he's pretty close to Cameron. Cameron and Cole, for that matter. They're all in a pack here up in 1, 2, and 3. So 8 more laps to go here in round 12, Sheesh Racing League in Britain. And right now, Cole Burton and Cameron, the BWT Racing Point drivers, lead for second. Closely behind them in third is OJD, so that's the podium as of right now. However, OJD would be actually technically be in first if they were to finish now, based on Cole and Cameron's penalties. So yeah, if even he doesn't even have to pass either of these guys. If he can stay very, very close, he's got to win without having to do a whole lot. Never mind.
And then he gets
picks
a
it up
3-second
himself.
time penalty.
So now he has to work for it. So now he's even with Cameron and Cole, and he's got to work for that win if he wants it.
Yeah, they all have 3 seconds. 3-second time penalties.
Now
so.
Cole's gonna let Cameron pass, so.
Well, they're fighting for it.
They were. I think he did try to let him pass, but it went into a turn. They just kind of got discombobulated.
Yeah, they're still competing in the driver's standings in first and second, so they're not going to take it too easy on each other. They just want to make sure they don't wreck each other out. And that'll give OJD, who will get the fastest lap, a bit of time to catch up to them. He'll try to go to the inside of Cameron, but thinks better of it again.
Now Cameron gets past Cole. But yeah, they might be battling up there. You can see both of them from OJD's perspective, so they might be going a little hard on each other.
Yeah, both of them want the win, so they're very close in the drivers' championship. Still side by side.
And Cam just picked them. Cam M15, if I can talk, just picked up another penalty, 3 seconds for multiple warnings again. And now Cameron finally finds himself in first after he passes his teammate Cole. Stigmatic has kind of caught himself back up to OJD. He's not too far behind anymore. He was 1.3, now he's 0.6. So yeah, he's very close. He's right back. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 are all in a bit of a cluster. And then Cam's just lagging a bit behind.
Yeah, as long as you stay in this race, you will get a decent amount of points. So, all they have to do is just try not to crash. But obviously you want to get the maximum amount of points, which is a win in the fastest lap. So that's why racing is still very competitive.
And Cameron just got past his lap, 137.9, still racing on his intermediates, as is everybody else, I believe. And then he just picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So now he's got 6 seconds. So that gives Cole and OJD an advantage.
Yeah.
And speaking of OJD, is very close to Cole now, working on getting second place. working on getting second place.
Yeah, now it's pretty much... Well, Cameron is pulling away though, so I don't even know if it'll matter.
Yeah, but Cole's still within 3 seconds of him, and that's all he needs. Because Cole
At the
only
pace
had a
he's
3
pulling
second
away,
penalty.
almost, it's over a second a lap, so... So I mean, by the end of the race, the time penalties might not matter.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm still on board with OJD. He's been working on Cole or he's working on Cameron for a
I
while,
am
now
too.
Cole for a while, but he doesn't really seem to be making much progress. He's kind of staying within the same vicinity for a few laps now. Not really falling too far back, not getting too close. He got close there for a second when Cole took a turn a little wonky, but Cole just went right back into where he was before. Oh! OJD got a little loose there, but he corrected himself right away. Because like you said, it's easy points in this race, so you do not want to make a mistake like that. And the Cameron again just set a fastest lap, 137.2. Is he gonna get another 3 second time penalty again like last time? Doesn't appear to be. Maybe he's trying to make that a trend. Set the fastest lap and then you get a time penalty to make up for it. I guess not. So this race is finally winding down. It's been a long one, but we're finally getting there. Lap 21 at 26. And yeah, the rain's definitely let up from what it was at the beginning, but it's not gonna clear up in time for the finale, for the end of the race. So, Kai, do you know where we were racing next weekend?
Here, I will... I don't know if I can check right now. It might be... I'm not even sure where we are next week. Didn't know where we were this week, really, until I joined. Just...
Well, Cole, well actually not just Cole, a lot of the drivers usually tend to hop in toward the end of the race. Cole just happens to be the league owner as well, so he'll know. So before I end stream, I'll get that info from him, so that way I can tell you guys where we will be next week. But I can tell you that we will be live next Saturday at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. Atlantic time, so 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which you guys would probably know a little bit better. So every Saturday, that is when we go live, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I don't know what track it'll be. That we'll find at the end of the race.
I believe it is going to be at Hungary.
So there you go, Hungary. Then we'll confirm that in 4 laps before we end stream. I always try to make sure to let you guys know where we'll be next week, just so you have an idea of what to expect if you were a big F1 fan, or even if you just play the game. You'll know what the track is all about.
OJD with some speed right behind.
Yeah,
Colbert.
OJD knows what this track's all about. He's working on that overtake on Siebert and couldn't get it done in that turn, but he's not going to give up that easily, Cole. You better watch yourself.
Also, I just noticed Cameron is over 5 seconds ahead of Siebert, and he's 135.9. He is flying right now.
He wants to be careful though, because he's not going to be able to pit without losing his position, and I don't know how worn down those tires are. He hasn't pit in a while. I don't think he's pit since one of the last safety cars, so those tires aren't overly fresh. He doesn't want to push them too hard and burn them out before he can get across that finish line for the last time.
GURPS has left the session, so apparently he was still in it watching.
Looking for future prospects, perhaps?
Well, I mean, if I got one Alpha Tauri driver, I might as well get the other, so next race I'll crash out Stigmatic.
Maybe. Maybe he's trying to use willpower. Speaking of, there you go. Stigmatic got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Right after I mentioned it.
And that, my friends, is the Kai McMillan curse. Every time you mention a driver, or he mentions a driver, something will happen, usually a penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had that penalty trend at Austria.
However, I mean, to be fair, that track is rough on penalties,
OJD.
and this track is rough on Cole Burton, as OJD goes right on past him without much of an issue on that turn.
Going back to his inside, and he will make a good dive, and OJD will give him a lot of room, and it gives C. Burton an opportunity. He goes way off the track though, and OJD has taken that position away. But it cost him about 2 seconds on our leader, Cameron.
Yeah, so Cameron's got an easy win. He got the win in his back pocket here, as long as nothing drastic happens. But second still isn't really locked in. That could be either one of these guys, based on how they're driving right now.
Yeah.
But then Cole gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so second place will be belonging to OJD again, unless anything happens that puts himself out of the race. So it should be an easy second place for OJD if he can stay clean.
Maybe we both just have a curse.
Maybe. Maybe they're listening in on us. Maybe they got us tapped and just, they do it on purpose. Just to make us look bad. Make us look like we don't know what we're talking about. Who knows?
If Cole wants to finish... Excuse me. If Cole would like to finish second, he has to get past OJD very soon and gain 3 seconds on him, so...
Yeah, and in 2 laps, basically 1, because they're just coming up to that finish line. It's not going to have... Oh no, it still would be 2 laps, 25 and 26. So right now it's in 3 laps, but basically 2. So he has time, but OJD is kind of pulling away on him.
Yeah. Here, right now, I will go over the schedule, and it looks relatively correct. From what I remember from the game. So, left on the schedule, race 13 is at Hungary, and up next is Belgium, then we have Italy, Singapore, Russia, Japan, USA, Mexico, Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi to finish off the season. Cole, I think he might have to pit. His tires must be shot as he keeps losing control of his car.
Well, Cam is really securing that last place finish. He just got another 3-second time penalty for warnings.
Yeah. And Cole is into the gravel. I doubt that Stigmatic will catch him. So Cole's just gotta try to tough it out here. They have the same amount of time penalties. Just gotta try to...
Oh, there goes our leader. Into the wall. Not too hard though. So he's still alright, but damaged his front wing. Looks like his right end plate is gone, and yeah, he might have to pit. He might lose. He might lose his first place position.
Oh. Maybe he will.
Well, like I said, on our screen, it's just that right. It's just that for me, it's just that right end plate that's gone. But it could be different for him. But I don't know. But regardless, OJD's gone right past him now.
Yeah, now OJD's got to build a gap heading into the last lap of the race. Is Cameron gonna pit? He is not.
Well, he doesn't have to build much of a gap though, because OJD. No, OJD and Cameron are the same. So yeah, no, he just basically don't let Cameron pass. Speaking of Cameron, he just got passed by his teammate. So Cole's gonna jump up into second.
Yeah. Okay. Not sure.
Now the Cole has that extra 3 seconds, so Cameron, mind you, Cameron is more than 3 seconds behind him right now. So yeah.
I'm not sure what Cameron's doing. Maybe he just has a big lack of grip, because there goes Stigmatic past Cameron.
And wow, all that, and Cameron's race is might as well be over.
And he'll go to
He goes
the
right into
inside
Stigmatic.
and smashes into him. That could be a grid penalty, because that is for a podium position.
Maybe, but that looked like that.
Stigmatic seems okay.
Yeah, that was Cameron's fault, but not intentional. He kind of looked to me like his brakes locked up, and he just kind of slid right into him. Either brakes locked up or no traction. Just again, he's got damage to that front wing. And yeah, so speaking of Cam solidifying that last place, maybe not, but I don't know it.
Now he's gonna just cut
it's maybe not, but Cam does have more penalties to his name than Cameron, I believe. So Cameron still might not finish last. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
So there it is. That was round 12. Sheesh Racing League, Britain. That'll do it. Not everybody's finished yet, but that'll be pretty much it. OJD, yep. Agreed, OJD wins. C. Burton locks himself in second place. Stigmatic's gonna lock himself in third.
Race, but
he did. Really, he did. And Stigmatic picked himself up. He started that race off rough, slid out a few times, and then ended up with a podium position. So that'll do it. And it is officially over now that everybody's crossed the line. So Cole,
tough end of the race
where are
Cameron,
we next weekend?
Next weekend, Hungary, yeah.
So there we go. Hungary was correct. That's where we are next weekend. So podium for today's race in first with Alfa Romeo. There you see him. It's OJD. In second with BWT Racing Point, it's our guy here, Cole. And then in third with AlphaTauri is Stigmatic Drip.
We don't talk about Cameron. We don't talk about that.
Stigmatic Drip he did a tremendous job to catch himself back up after everything that happened in this race.
Actually show up. That's right,
well,
from calling you out.
Don't know if you saw the reason he's out of the race, but
oh, buddy, I was right behind it.
There'll be some reviewing happening. So anyway, that'll do it.
Congratulations.
That'll do it for round 12 of Sheesh Racing League. Here in Britain, first, second, third, OJD, C. Burton, and Stigmatic. We'll see you next weekend at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, in Hungary for round 13. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.